signs the Book of Condolence for Britain's Queen Elizabeth II. Protests in Erie Hill, St. George after an access road is blocked. And in sports, Barbados Royals' unbeaten streak stretches to 5 in the CPL.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
A very good evening to you with this weekend edition of CBC Newsnight. I'm Ryan Broom in our top story. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has signed the Book of Condolence for Britain's Queen Elizabeth II at the British High Commission in Barbados. Now, this was done during a visit yesterday as Ms. Motley paid her respects to the government and people of the United Kingdom on the passing of the Queen on Wednesday. The Prime Minister had also offered condolences on Friday during an address to the nation. An official statement on the Queen's death was issued from the President of Barbados, Her Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, on Thursday. And it's been a day of remembrance and quiet tributes from the people of Scotland as the Queen's cortege travelled for over 6 hours across hundreds of kilometres in the Scottish countryside before arriving at the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh.
The very heavy rain that we're seeing here in Edinburgh now has melted away the crowds. There were thousands around the palace here at Holyrood. There's still the odd person showing up and laying bouquets of flowers in memory of the Queen, but the number is down quite significantly. But as the Queen's coffin arrived in the cortege, which had come all the way from Balmoral, there was applause which rang out all the way down the Royal Mile as the Queen made her way back to her Scottish home for the final time. This is Holyrood Palace. This is the official residence of the monarchy in Scotland. It's where the Queen would come every summer for at least 1 week, where there would be a garden party and where she would hand out honours to those who'd been given honours by the government. But there was a deep connection with the Scottish people here, not just because of Holyrood, but because of Balmoral, where the journey began. Now, to drive from Balmoral to Edinburgh, it would normally take somewhere in the region of 2.5 hours. It was 6.5 hours this time round because she went by a much bigger route, going north first of all, heading to Aberdeen and then swinging round to come down the east coast and the main population centres of the city of Dundee and Perth before coming in to Edinburgh. But that was also to give people the chance to have a collective sense of grief, of loss, of celebration and of course of history, because this was a historic moment. It was a historic time on the throne, 70 years longer than any other monarch in the United Kingdom, and for many people, the only monarch that they had ever known.
Residents of Erie Hill, St. George are threatening legal action following the blockage of an access road in the community. Yesterday, they staged a protest outside the fenced area, which some say they've used for more than 50 years. Our Sharika Griffith has the details.
Residents of Erie Hill, St. George making their demand clear. They want this padlocked fence gone. They say it's effectively blocked a path they've used for decades. Vicky Wilson says they've secured the services of a legal team comprising 3 attorneys at law, and they're prepared to take the fight all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
We are going to fight them, even if we have to go to Trinidad. We are prepared to fight them to the bitter end to get this down.
Among Ms. Wilson's concerns is the fact the fence now prevents access to these Barbados Light and Power transformers.
At one time I had an issue where I had surges, and in order for them to fix the problem, they had to come down to this pole and fix one of these transformers. So if one of those transformers has a problem, I personally and all the people around me will be without electricity until they could find a way to fit a truck in there to fix that.
The now blocked path was also a shortcut for elderly residents like David Belgrave, who sometimes experiences pain and swelling in his knees.
So how do you manage to get around now with that extra kilometre that you have to walk?
I don't get around.
Another resident, Michael Byer, explains their safety concerns regarding the other road into the community, not least of which is a lack of sidewalks.
When the rain falls really bad, the situation is that it becomes flooded. And if you pass it, you got somebody standing there with some boy passing to give you a drop over the water, which is nonsense. It's ridiculous. And the other thing is that if somebody get attacked walking on that road around, they got the whole says you ain't got nobody to call for help. They don't got nobody to call for the help because you got women that's done work late, all hours of the night, 12 o'clock. They got to walk that lonely road coming around there. You got children that coming from school that got to walk all around there. That's a very dangerous road.
Efforts to reach the owner or occupants of the property proved unsuccessful up to news time. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thanks, Sharika. Well, Minister of Education Kay McConney has responded to queries about what would happen in the event there is a spike of COVID-19 cases in the school system during the new school term. She says the ministry continues to rely on the expertise of the Ministry of Health as its biggest partner in the COVID-19 fight. The minister notes once that consultation has taken place, they would then engage other key educational partners on the way forward.
One of the things that we have reiterated is that the protocols are what they are now. However, they're constantly being monitored, we're constantly reevaluating, and we are very open to reviewing. Our first interest is ensuring that we create the right kind of environment for learning and for instruction. And in the event that we believe that that is threatened significantly and that the ability of our students to be able to learn in a safe environment is in fact something that's being compromised, we will take the necessary decisions.
And staying on the topic of COVID-19, Barbados recorded 25 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday out of the 302 tests conducted by the Best Dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. Of that number, there were 4 people under the age of 18 and 21 people 18 years and older. There are now 51 people in isolation facilities and 458 in home isolation. No deaths were recorded, and the number of people who died from the viral illness remains at 556. Under the national vaccination program for the virus, the total number of people with at least 1 dose is 163,429. The total number of people who are fully vaccinated is 154,487. We take our first break here, but coming up, the Walk the Talk initiative crosses the halfway mark.
Hey Barbados, my name is Hillary and we are here at Ace H&B Hardware and Lumber. Ace H&B has all your hurricane supplies to help you deal with the unpredictable. Like generators, to chainsaws, plywood sheets, hurricane straps, flashlights, batteries, water tanks, gas containers, and first aid kits. Being prepared is essential to weathering any storm, and with your neighborhood Ace H&B, you'll have the tools, supplies, and the know-how that you need to protect your home and your family. Stay safe, Barbados, and I'll see you soon.
The Barbados O-Level Institute has been helping school leavers and adults pass CXC and CAPE exams for many years. Let them help you. Register now. Call 436-6143 or 436-4274.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team CBC, here for you this hurricane season.
Welcome back. Well, local charity Red Foundation has covered half of its journey across the island in an effort to raise thousands of dollars for those in need. This morning, walkers completed the second leg of the Walk the Talk initiative, which started at the Granny Adams International Airport and concluded here at the CBC. Patron of the foundation, Dr. the Honorable Stetson Red Plastic Bag Wilshire, told CBC News they've now covered 27 kilometers of the 4-week walk, which spans St. Philip to St. Lucie.
I see people really enjoy themselves on the walk all the way down the highway, and our numbers have grown from last week, and I'm expecting next week now to be even bigger, and I want to really thank people for coming up and supporting this effort. As the song in the background is saying, we need to be our brother's keeper, and I really thank them for coming up. But the walk was awesome, the sun wasn't too hot. I mean, it's only when we get to the little hill there that I started to feel a little bit of depression, but I'm happy with the turnout this morning, and hopefully we can grow from strength.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Red Foundation, Alvin Jemmett, is calling on more Barbadians to support the cause.
The overall goal is to raise 50,000. So if we divide that in four, we're looking for just around 13,000 a week. But the important thing is that we want to be able to help those in need. And so I'm making an appeal to Barbados and Barbadians to come out, give your support, buy a t-shirt, drop us some non-perishable items so we can make those packages for those who really, really need them at this time. Well, we have 2 collection points each week, at the beginning of the walk and at the end of the walk. But you can always contact any of us from the Red Foundation.
Hoping to make the walk myself next week. And some sad news now. Methodist stalwart Reverend Colton Bennett has been laid to rest. He died on August 29th at the age of 93. Again, our Sharika Griffith reports.
Family members dressed in his favorite color, red, friends and other well-wishers gathered at the James Street Methodist Church for the homegoing service of Reverend Colton Bennett. During the many tributes, he was described as a man slow to anger, a true gentleman with a jovial laugh who was always punctual and immaculately dressed. In a tribute by his wife of more than 2 decades, Marilyn, read by Cicely Spencer Cross, she recalled her husband was always supportive.
You were the one who encouraged and pestered me to study for the local preacher's exams. You were so happy when I passed. Whenever I came home late from a meeting, you always had a cup of tea waiting for me, and the outside light would be turned on.
His daughters, Dr. Eltora Bennett and Cheryl Bennett Ennis, also benefited from his encouragement and believe that may be why they ended up in what were traditionally male-dominated fields, medicine and engineering.
Daddy kept it simple. For example, he didn't bother to learn our boyfriends' names. He called them all George. And until their roles were clearly defined, and in his book, that meant marriage to whichever young lady Daddy considered to be under his care. He was practical. Years ago, having suffered a heart attack and believing that his end had come, he instructed us to bury him in as sturdy a cardboard box as the law would allow.
In addition to more than 60 years of service in the lay and ordained ministry of the Methodist Church, Reverend Bennett also left a legacy in the profession of nursing, as the first to respond to government's call for male nursing trainees.
This being a new thing for Barbados, many persons speculated that he would not last the 4 years of training. He was one of 2 who proved the critics wrong. His other colleague who completed was the late Mr. Bertie Yard. He was loved by all his patients and the staff, and this helped him to enjoy what was hard work, but which formed the foundation for a very successful career in nursing.
He went on to train thousands of nurses, particularly in the field of psychiatric nursing. Following a procession through the city, Reverend Colton Vespri Bennett was laid to rest at the Bethel Methodist Church. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Do you have a disability or have any ideas about how to improve the lives of persons with disabilities? Then, come out to the 3 town hall meetings being hosted by the Advisory Committee on Persons with Disabilities on Thursday, September 15 at Solidarity House, Hinesbury Road, St. Michael. Wednesday, September 21st at the Ivan Harewood Center, Christchurch Parish Church, Church Hill Christchurch. And Thursday, September 29th at Alexandra School, Queen Street, St. Peter. Each meeting begins at 6:30 p.m. The public may also follow on Instagram at PeopleBDS or join by the Zoom link for each day. Here's your opportunity to help determine policy and hear what legislation is being proposed to assist persons with disabilities.
Goal! The biggest
biggest and best in football will be on display when the 2022 FIFA World Cup is contested in Qatar from November 20th to December 18th. We'll share every moment on CBC TV8. You can be a sponsor and benefit from high viewership and a fantastic offer. Call us now to book your advertising package. 467-5559. Go!
Very good evening with sports. I'm Damien Best. Well, the Barbados Royals whipped the Jamaica Tallawahs by 8 wickets today to remain unbeaten in the 2022 Hero CPL. Playing at the Darren Sammy Stadium, the Tallawahs sent into bat scored 156 for 8. Captain Ralph Powell top scored with 52, while Obed McCoy took 3 for 24. When the Royals batted, Quinton de Kock slammed 64 from 53 balls, and Corbin Bosch got 56 in their 157 for 2 in 19.5 overs. Here are the highlights.
Pace off and a catch. That's a very good one as well. Balance, poise, power. This one might be out. It's into the wind. Mayer's coming in, takes a very good catch, diving forward.
Should be taken, yeah. Jason Holder, quite tall. Wickets.
He'll be looking for more of the same.
A lot of bat on ball, but not enough. And he goes again offside, but miscues it. And provides a simple catch to Obed McCoy. So at the halfway stage of this match number 14, the Tallawahs been sent into bat. And they only managed 156 for 8.
Oh, and he's got it. Not sure that one can be saved. That has gone all the way. Hero maximum over mid-wicket.
Pumped down the ground. Single to end the over. Not a bad start from Joshua James. 108 for 1, and it's a 50 up for Quinton de Kock, his first in Hero CPL. That's a massive one.
Back-to-back half centuries for Corbin Bosch. Got him. Amir strikes. And they get gold. 5 from 5 for the Barbados Royals in Hero CPL 2022.
Well, as we just heard, the Royals have extended their lead with 10 points from 5 wins and will next play the Trinbago Knight Riders on Tuesday night as the tournament heads to TNT. Today's second game between the Kings and the Patriots is currently underway live on MCTV Sports Max channel. Well, Wanderers picked up the biggest win at the conclusion of the second series of the BCA Elite Division, defeating YMPC by an innings and 13 runs at Beckles Road today. Scores in the game: Wanderers 273, YMPC 149 and 111, with Jacob Ince getting 5 for 54. Meanwhile, Wildy maintained their lead after defeating Empire by 7 wickets at home. Scores in that one: Empire 250 for 9 declared and 166, Wildy 284 and 133 for 3. At Bayfield, St. Catherine crushed the Barbados Youth by 141 runs after scoring 229 and 206 for 9 declared and dismissing the Youth for 173 and 121. At Rice's, Gladiola 178 for 9 and 169 for 8. Carlton all out for 90 and 87 to go down by 170 runs. In Queen's Park, Spartan 215 and 128 for 2. UWI 155 and 187, with Andre Marshall taking 6 for 46. Spartan winning by 8 wickets. And we can tell you that BNOC will meet Buffy's Mini Mart Inchmarlow in the finals of the BCA Plate after both teams registered victories in their semi-finals today. Well, Barbadian Zane Maloney ended a superb 2022 Formula 3 season with victory in the final race at Monza today, making it 3 wins in a row. Victor Martins of Team ART took the driver's title with 139 points, as Maloney of Trident Motorsport was the runner-up with 134 points. Congrats once again to Zane. A big motorcade will be held this week to celebrate Barbados' outstanding local medalists from the World Championships, Commonwealth and Pan American Games. They are track athletes Shadia Williams, Shane Brathwaite and Jonathan Jones, along with cyclist Amber Joseph. The motorcade is being held on Wednesday, September 14th. CBC's Mark Seal has the details.
Williams won gold at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in the women's 400 meters in a games record of 49.90 seconds. And added to that, bronze at the World Championships in Eugene and bronze in the Diamond League final in Zurich. Brathwaite took silver in the men's 110 hurdles at the Commonwealth Games in the season's best 13.30 seconds, while Jones won bronze in the men's 400 meters in 44.89. Joseph won 3 medals at the Pan American Elite Track Cycling Championships in Lima, winning gold in the women's scratch race, silver in the Omnium, and another silver in the points race. The welcome is being organized by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, the National Sports Council, and the Barbados Olympic Association. A media conference will also be held at the gymnasium, which will be addressed by senior government officials. Barbadians are being invited to line the route of the motorcade on Wednesday afternoon to greet and celebrate the athletes. Additionally, they will be allowed between 10 to 15 minutes at the gym to interact with the athletes and to take pictures. There will also be a reception for the athletes at Elara Court on Friday, September 16th from 7 p.m., but this will be closed to the public. Mark Seal, CBC Sports.
Thanks, Mark. In tennis news, Poland's Iga Swiatek is the U.S. Open women's champion. She defeated Tunisian Ons Jabeur in straight sets last evening to claim her second Grand Slam title this year.
Swiatek made a lightning-quick start to the match, winning the first 3 games for the loss of just 2 points.
Oh, so good from Swiatek.
But it was Swiatek who took the first set 6-2 in just 30 minutes. Swiatek had won her past 9 finals in straight sets, and try as she might, Jabeur was struggling to halt her opponent's momentum. Jabeur's fighting spirit flickered back into life at the right time. A match point saved, her title hopes alive.
Tie-break. A match point saved.
But it was 21-year-old Swiatek who had the edge in the second set tie-break, closing out the match to become the first Polish player to win the US Open.
Of course, we will have highlights from the men's final tomorrow night. And that's it for sports. The weather details up next.
Registration at the 22 centres for the new Trident ID cards ends on September 3rd. However, the Electoral Department will be extending registration at a reduced number of centres from Wednesday, 7th September until Friday, 30th September. Collection of your Trident ID card will also be facilitated at the centres. The new list of centres is Speightstown Resource Centre, Sion Hill Resource Centre, Belle Plaine Community Centre, Valley Resource Centre in St. George, Airy Hill Gospel Hall, Southeastern Farmers Co-op Society in 6 Roads, David Thompson Health and Social Services Complex, Christchurch Parish Church Hall, Girl Guides Headquarters at Pax Hill, City Centre Mall, and Warren's Towers 2. Remember, you can also register online and get the complete list of centres at trident.gov.bb.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Morning Barbados will be coming to your parish live every Friday until November. Stay tuned from 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. to see which parish we're in. Join us for it all.
Good morning, morning Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up, morning to you.
Good evening and welcome to the weather news. Today in Barbados, the ridge pattern was the dominant feature. We experienced mostly fair skies along with a few isolated showers. Now, the winds at this time, they are peaking at 14 knots and we're tracking 1 tropical wave east of the region. The maximum temperature today was 31 degrees Celsius, the minimum 28 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 28 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 74%. Those winds are coming in from the east-northeast. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where we have that one tropical wave located here at 35 degrees west. It is moving towards the west and will continue to track that system. Today, the ridge was the dominant feature. We experienced mostly fair skies along with a few showers. Now, we had up to 3.2 millimeters of rainfall. Later on tonight, we are expecting cloudy skies at times along with a few showers. Further south, there is a shear line maintaining cloudy skies, showers and thunderstorms across the Guianas. Over now in the Western Caribbean, localized showers prevailed across most of the islands. We move now to the forecast, where the sun is expected to rise at 13 minutes to 6 and will set at a minute past 6. The first high tide expected there at a minute to 5 in the early morning. The first low at 53 a.m. Now, those seas, they are smooth to moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 1.5 meters. The winds coming in from the east, and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, we can expect cloudy skies at times along with some showers. Over the next 3 days, fair to partially cloudy skies along with a few scattered showers can be expected. We leave you now with forecast weather conditions for some areas across the region, followed by some selected international cities.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade, or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV